Hey everybody, and welcome back to Pathologic. It's been a couple of days since the last episode. Figured I'd do it on a couple day sequence. It would have been yesterday, but weather was really bad and wind was preventing me from doing any recording. But yeah, back to Pathologic. This very, very bizarre game that has captivated me from the first episode. So we're the doctor in a very small town. This person stands out. Anything I can help you with? No, thank you. Anyway, yeah, so I don't even know how I can summarize what's going on other than we're a doctor in a small town. Something's going on in the world. There are strange creatures that you kind of just have to accept exist in this world. And we're meeting with... what was his name? The Kane family, where the father of the family seems to not die or live for a very, very long time. Pretty much the doctor character here is trying to transcend death. And he believes it's something to do with the force of will, and that's why he's come to this small town to try and figure out why it is that this Kane person, patriarch of the family, is able to live for so long. And yeah, I barely knew anything going into this game, but there's like survival aspects to it where I have to maintain... I don't even know how to open... yeah, see? I have to maintain my hunger, exhaustion levels, infection, health, all of this sort of thing. I have an equipment. There's combat, apparently. I don't know what adherence is. So yeah, this game is a lot more in-depth than I thought. And of course, fantastic art style. Just cool. And totally this game reminds me a huge amount of Silent Hill. I think it's of the fact that it's of the era. This is whose house? No, I was meant to talk to the daughter first because she's been expecting my return. Yeah, this is like a gigantic map of the town that I can fully explore. Don't know what's up with the these areas or not, but again, I'm just gonna roll. And apparently there's like a marketplace, or different places sell different things that I can sell it by a different price. I don't know. I'm just gonna not go to this house yet. I'm gonna go talk to the daughter. I love the architecture. I also have absolutely no idea what the top right or top left symbol keeps appearing is. I assume it's something to do with my stats. Is this one? No, this is a water fountain, I think. I don't even know what that is. So yeah. And there's 3 characters. Each of them has their own story. So again, I like have absolutely no idea how this is gonna go. Nice. Yeah, that's perfectly normal art that you find. A couple of wooden swords, just casually. 3 swords, nice. Like, this game still looks pretty good. Again, it's held up on its art style, but 2005 game? This looks good. It's really high quality.
Great souls are not those who have fewer passions and more virtues than the common, but those only who have greater designs.
What? What?
Great souls are not those
Oh,
who
souls.
have fewer passions and more virtues than the common, but those only who have greater designs.
What? You resemble an adventurer rather than a doctor. How is it that you know me? I saw you in a dream. Don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us away by the... all by the throat. Cruel words. but also honest. What's so bad about it anyway? The strong manipulate the weak when they want to. Again, what is this dialogue? It's very, very dreamlike, which, again, I said last episode, I love. Like, sure, it's may, to some people, sound like nonsense, pretentious, but I'm totally into it. Because it's not only... Like, just accept the fact that it's weird and go with it. Then it is all in my hands.
I often feel like someone's looking at us from the other side.
Okay. I have a lot to tell you, Bachelor Dankovsky, but I dare not, until you eat my uncle, Georgie? Otherwise, he'll rip my tongue out for disclosing a secret. Some strict morals your family has. They make much more sense than you may think. This is not a game, is it? For all that is holy, do speak to my uncle and then come back to me. Otherwise, the excruciating anticipation will tear my heart to pieces. Alright, we cannot put your heart at stake now, can we? No, but I needed to know where your uncle is.
The Saburov's wait is over.
What is
They've
this?
always wanted an heir.
Where is your uncle now? Close at hand, just next door. Go to the wing that's closer to the river. The roof is shaped like a crown. Okay, I'll be back soon. I don't even know what to say to that conversation. Again, just accept that this is not our reality or tone or anything like that. So, next door, crown-shaped building. I'm not even... Yes. Okay. Okay. This game is nearly incomprehensible, but that's fine. I do like... I don't know. I'm still just very impressed by how good this looks. That is a very bizarre looking wood carving. Kinda cool though. There's gonna be a lot of me stopping and just like looking around the room. Hello, Uncle.
Autumn is gloomy this year.
Sure, autumn sure is gloomy this year. The famous Dr. Danovsky. Your arrival is a great honor for us. Victor Kane at your service. Daniel Danovsky at yours. I foresee that things have become ordinary for us. Ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. Oh, so then that's why there's like weird stuff in this village and they're like, whatever, it's our normal. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean the traditions. Games that we play with passion will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I mean, I've already accepted that. I hope we will be able to work in the atmosphere of mutual trust.
I fear that Simon's death is a symbolic event.
But Simon's not dead. Did you just spoil the fact that when I go to meet Simon, he's dead? I don't know. Yeah, I was like, this is Victor, not Georgie. This is not the uncle. Or George. I don't know how to say the names. Is waiting for you, friend. He has news for you that you will find surprising. I only ask one thing. Do not be too quick to reject his request. What does he want from me? He will explain it better himself. We put too many hopes on your arrival. The echo of these hopes has led him to offer you a rather intricate conundrum to solve. What is it? It's not exactly in your line of work. And yet, if we are to believe a certain source, which we deem quite trustworthy, it appears that you are the only person that can help our family. The reward will be quite fitting. Will be fitting, of course. Alright, I'll speak to... I'm just gonna call him George. I assume he's upstairs or something? Because he's supposed to live here, right? Is there a way up? This is the way outside. How do I meet with George? I am in the right house, right? I'm putting up my dukes. I don't want to punch anybody. Yeah, but how meet George?
It's like something is pulling my strings.
Okay. Yeah, but how do I meet him? Where do I meet him? What do I do? I want to meet with George. Where is George? Oh yeah, time passes, like as per normal. Do I have food to eat? That's not what I wanted to do, but I drank some water. I have some money, so I might have to go buy some bread or something. Is there another way to... This is the eccentric man with the weird dress, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna talk to you. Yeah, I was told next door. Oh, there's a bunch of young men with a weird uniform. I'm just gonna not talk to these people. I've talked to them last episode. No, but seriously, I need food. I have a bunch of money. 1453. I feel like that went down. Oh. Oh, it's steps, not money. I guess I don't have money. It's locked door. Do I have no money at all then? Kerosene. That's not... Did I just drop my kerosene? Empty bottle. Okay. Oh, it's by the river. I think I was looking at the wrong place then. It's another crown-shaped building? But she said next door. Unless she means like... I'll just look at all the houses by the river. Because I'm confusing myself otherwise. A really nice looking skybox. I think as well the oppressive levels of fog remind me a lot of Silent Hill. I'm just going to make the Silent Hill comparison so much. I do apologize. But this is like what happens when the fog is halfway between Silent Hill world and our world. Because there's no real monsters thus far. But the people have all kind of gone to another world. And accepted the eccentricities of reality. That's just gonna bring me round. Back to the houses, so... Cathedral... I'll go talk to... Oh, that's Victor King's daughter. Hey lady, you seem to be looking at me. My heart is crying for my poor children. How is my dearest doing? Is everything alright? Oh, woman's sure is hard. I think this is the same conversation I had last time. You've got a curious town here. I never expected something like this to be in such a remote place. Everyone's tired of, construction work. An endless battle. We only dream of peace. It's just to initiate the end of the conversation. Did I just misinterpret what she was saying about where her uncle is? It's very likely. Not a fan of the ominous groaning from that direction. Anything I can do for you? Oh, no. No, thank you. He'll go on a very, very long spiel about the history of the town, the location, all that. The various districts, which is like an overload of information. Then he's going to say, oh, but you don't need to know about it. It's a park. Big old statues. Obsidian rock just, jutting out in the middle here. What is that? Can I not pick it up? Seems not. Okay, that was interesting. Right. Let's just go back, and I really do need to talk to Maria again. Unless she means that he's, I don't know. Maybe Grigor? And that's also a crown-shaped building. So maybe I do have to go and meet George inside the house where Simon is, and then come back to her? I suppose I might as well at this point. May have just interpreted where she was talking about wrong, because they're both crown-looking houses. Alright, let's go inside this house. Meet Simon and George. Very inviting plant. Enter the house and meet.
I feel almost nothing.
Good to know.
Most men only die because they know not how to prevent dying.
I mean, okay. Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that's around us, has been murdered. Okay, so he did die, but it wasn't of a natural death. Somebody killed him. I can't believe it. It cannot be. Or, damn it, why did it have to be just before I arrived? Right as I found a chance to prevail. Precisely. Why did it have to be just before your arrival? Are you asking yourself the same question? I hope you don't see any connection between my arrival and the murder. In fact, I do see a connection. However, do not mistake it for a thought that it was you who murdered him. I mean, obviously. What do you know? My brother was murdered last night under the strangest of circumstances, but for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather eschew the notion that his departure was connected with whoever had visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of our family. There are witnesses to testify he and Simon did nothing but converse. Who was the visitor? Someone you know quite well. The man whom my brother saw last night was your colleague, Isidore Baraka. Or Burak? I don't... These names are going to be lost on me, and I apologize for how badly I butcher them. He was not the very person to advise you... was he not the very person to advise you come here as well? Yes, I would have told you I'd been brought here by the hand of fate not long ago. Yes, I will not be overly dramatic. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? I was gonna say I don't want to be like extra, but categories like time, nature, and fate deprive man of responsibility for what goes on around him. I was taught to avoid this worldview. It could be that my mind is clouded by sorrow, but I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Why do you speak the word fate with such disgust? I prefer the word time, in a fatalistic sense of the notion, of course. This is so in line with a lot of existentialist type writers, and I'm not super well versed in a lot of their style, but it just gives me the same impression. So Simon wasn't aware I would come? Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting with you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the action he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, a piece upon which your position here depended. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. My sincere... I don't want to continue on with this chess piece metaphor. But I guess I will. So you presume the queen knew of the blow and sacrificed itself for a pawn, but why? To grant you victory over death, was it not your ultimate aspirations? To help you, Simon seemed to have played a very dangerous game with fate itself. He went out of his way to provide you with a body of evidence. What did he do? It is of no importance to me exactly what he did. He took another leap for the stars and paid a terrible price for it. I repeat, he was murdered. The subject of importance here is the identity of murderer, rather. Everything has gone to rack and ruin. I wish I could take vengeance upon the person who ripped the life from this man. I mean... yeah, but I wouldn't have put it in that specific way. Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us. My brother Victor, who's in the wing next door, would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed, there seem to be way too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just as well be the murder of Bachelor Danovsky. I will help you in every way I can. I'm convinced that if there is anyone at all that can help us solve this puzzle, then it is you. The mission calls for someone astute and inventive as you. If Isidore was the instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan for looking for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue for the solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. Fine. I'm fine with this course of action. Right, so that's where I have to go talk to Isidore. I'm gonna talk to was that a save? Him again to talk about Maria?
Will meet its death at the hand of Simon's murderer. That much is certain.
After going through this dialogue, I will take a moment and then just express thoughts. Which of the I'm counting on you, Doctor. Which of the locals can help me, whose words can be trusted? I don't know for how long you will remain here, Doctor. You are most welcome to be my guest, even though I won't try to keep you. While you are here, though, and especially since you're trying to find out the truth, it is my duty to offer you a piece of advice. I would be most grateful for it. This remote place has a history of its own. There is not enough time to retell it to you, which is unfortunate, since it is the background of the town that may possibly justify some local conventions that will most likely seem barbaric to an educated person like yourself. What traces did history leave in your society, then? There are three truths that rule this town. 3 origins, 3 ideas, if you like. For several generations, these 3 powers have been in conflict with each other. I suspect none of them can exist without the other 2, yet each of them seems to strive to dominate. Each of them has its own voice. Tell me more. I don't want to shut it down. These voices are the ruling families. There are 3 sections of the town. Each one of them probably is a different aspect of these 3 truths. They're all probably an aspect of life itself, and there's 3 characters. There's a lot of 3s in this game. These voices are the ruling families, the co-owners of the Bull Project, who have been ruling the town for almost 2 centuries. Each one of these truths they represent is screaming at the top of the lungs. In doing so, travesties whatever value it carries. Who are they? I'm not gonna shut them down. Like, I'm interested. Because I don't know. I'm into this. I'll just keep going. The first voice is Sabravos. The second is Oglimkus. The third one is us, the Kings. We are the 3 heads of one beast. Each of the clans will offer their own understanding of what is going on. Each of the 3 will use their own voice and the voices of their followers to lie and distort the truth. We cannot exist otherwise. However, in doing so, we will inadvertently reveal the entirety of the truth to anyone who would listen. You suggest I believe you. I mean, obviously they're going to tell their version of the truth. I suggest you believe no one. Perhaps I am the only one of the three rulers that will ask you to disregard his very words. If nothing else, I hope it will win me your favor. At least I am offering you honest advice. You should never trust any of us completely, neither the Kanes, nor Oglimkus, nor the Sabrovs. I do not trust anyone blindly. That goes against my principles. Furthermore, each of us will try and paint a rather ungainly picture of the other two. Most likely we will fill you on the negative sides of each other faction without holding anything that is good about them. That is inevitable. None of us will stoop to outright slander, so everything will be said will most likely be true, but this truth will be one-sided and incomplete. Listen carefully to what we have to say and take into account. Thank you. Stories of the evil that the Kanes have unleashed onto this world are partly true. Do not feel obligated to act in our favor. I mean, at the same time, we're kind of obligated because Simon Kane was the very reason that we came here. And it's very possible that one of the Kanes murdered the brother. But, I don't know. Well, we'll see as the mystery goes forward. As you can see, I will stop before nothing to ensure an unbiased investigation of the lack of prejudice. I want to instill in you is the one and only reason why I'm making a confession like this. I do not want my brother to have died in vain. Here our desires concur, Judge. Okay, for a moment, I'm gonna pause for a second. This game may be a very, very long and slow-running series, given how absurdly text-heavy it is, and I'm reading everything out, but at the same...
Men only die because they know not how to prevent dying.
At the same time, I can't actually think of a game like this. It's partially walking... It reminds me of a first person of the hour that I've played so far.
I feel almost nothing.
Okay, George or Georg. I'm gonna walk into the next room for a moment. So this game reminds me a lot of a first-person adventure game with combat. And, you know, parts of it, I guess if it was released today, would be called Walking Simulator-esque. But it really is like the point-and-click adventure games of old, but I'm walking around, learning myself. I have, but, you know, further elaborated. NPCs have dialogue. I mean, obviously, NPCs. What am I saying? Sorry, that really long conversation is like racking my brain. But I've never really seen a game like this and presented in such a way. Besides the other game that this company has made in The Void. Maybe it's just not... I've not played many games like this, but... Or had played something with a writing style like this. It's very unique to me. And it's incredibly obtuse, and it's really hard for... It's pretty dang hard for people to get into. But it's encapsulated a lot of what I like about what can be done in games. Because it's one thing reading this as a book, and this would have worked, I think, pretty well as a book so far, like the premise and the narrative. And it obviously draws from a lot of a rich literary background that I'm not entirely familiar with. Maybe like bits and pieces, but Eastern European writing is not one that I've read all that much of. But I can see the influence that it has on this. And it's just, like I said and constantly say, the dreamlike quality of this game I'm very much into. Because games are a medium for expression in ways that cannot be done in other mediums. So by turning this into an interactive space, the writing melds perfectly with the presentation. And the fact that I'm in this world as an active player, an actor per se, like, helps bring me in personally. And his diatribe about it's almost meta narrative to me, because you know you're a player and this is a game and you're just interacting with the world, and the characters say, oh, I feel like Victor, he's like, oh, I feel like a puppet on strings. I mean, because technically he's an NPC that I interact with and have dialogue conversations with, but at the same time, so far, this is just an hour into the game, the developers have crafted a really living world. This feels like a town lost in a surreal mist of confusion. It feels like a dream world that doesn't exist in our reality, but at the same time feels like a place that people live in. It's not just like a game world, it's a town with beings and creatures that the townspeople accept, and you're just this outsider from a town, the big city rather, and you've come to the sleepy town lost in time, and that's cool. I don't know where this rant is going, but I am very much down with this, and I realize this is probably just going to be a series that I do on and off for so long, and this is definitely more for myself, because this is so unfriendly for watchers, given how terse and overly complicated the dialogue. This is like a cult classic type game with a ridiculously niche audience. But you know what? I'm enjoying the exploration and slow unraveling and trying to understand the narrative of the story, because clearly this game is just constant metaphor and nothing is clear. Like, it's the opposite of clear. And I'm sure people call this pretentious and like overly written, but I have to remember the writing style is very unique, and this is translated from another language where the presentation and tone is probably completely different. And just roll with it. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing, but it's very much my thing. Hello, child. Girl, we know all about you. Fantastic. Aren't you... Shall we barter, perhaps? What are you so happy about, girl? We almost caught the unseen cat. Want to come see her? Where did you find such a cat? The famous pale cat. Her eyes are like translucent emeralds. Her fur is gray and her body's completely transparent. So can you see some bowels, too? The light passes right through her. It's very pretty, but most importantly, she's invisible in the dark, and rodents can't hear her. That's how light her steppe is. She belongs to the pale What? To the what obtuse? It's no use. I know you won't believe me anyway. Just come over and see the cat for yourself when it gets dark. By the 12th warehouse, the password is hell froze over. I will do my best not to forget this intricate phrase. Like, that would never be a conversation in reality, obviously. But within the realms of this world that is constructed, just roll with it. Why not? Embrace the dream. What other medium would you have that lets you interact with a world like this? Nothing, and that's what I like about games. What is going on? Why are they beating up a lady? What? Yo, stop it. Stop it. What is going on? No. No, stop it. Stop it. They killed the lady. Oh. This is so weird. I just want to know why they killed her. What in the world is going on? I mean, this is also how I end most of my episodes, with a death, so... Sure. Okay, I hope you'll join me next episode. You know, I can only totally understand why. But this series will be ongoing for the foreseeable future. And hope you're enjoying it, or as at least intrigued by it as I am. See you next time. Bye-bye.